For most Connecticut residents, after a long day, they get to go home. But for a large number of people, that reality isn't the same.
That's what many of our guests here will say, that this year, last year at this time, they weren't like this.
A lot of people have laid their heads on these beds at Saint Vincent DePaul Shelter in Waterbury, one of the biggest homeless shelters in Connecticut. The Connecticut State Department of Housing says homelessness has surged lately, with 76% more people without a place of their own compared to November of 2020.
The amount of people that are currently sleeping outside, including families and children, has gotten extremely concerning.
And the safety net is no longer there for them.
United Way does a report called Assessed Limited Income Constrained Employed, or ALICE for short.
So ALICE is, again, a data-driven way to understand the cost of living in a community. And so what ALICE tells us, based on real costs of living in Connecticut, were that 2 years ago, our last ALICE report, it actually would cost $90,000 a year for a family of 4, including an infant and a toddler, just to make ends meet.
And in the last 2 years, inflation has driven up prices even more, making those already struggling parents fall even more behind.
Going forward, we're seeing a lot more families that are in need of shelter, still individuals and whatnot, but families, I think, are our biggest things that are in need of shelter right now.
211 housing crisis.
The United Way
line.
211 hotline is ringing off the hook due to the housing crisis.
How long have you been staying in your car?
They've since had to cut its 24/7 call service to just 8 hours a day in an attempt to help its staff keep up with the call volume. Jared Bruce says it's a trickle-down effect from the lack of funding from the state level.
And without a real investment in the homeless response system, there will continue to be challenges and problems for people calling 211 and trying to access services. Yet
tomorrow holds the challenge of another homeless day for people like Andre, who frequent this shelter.
This place helped me a lot.
This place, a painful reality for him and many families.
So we used to be able to get families, really anybody out of here within 30 days or so, but now due to the lack of housing or with the rates going up with rents, units not passing the housing quality inspection, stuff like that, we're not able to get people in as fast and then out as fast. So their length of stay is now becoming longer and longer. And then people are on the waiting list longer and longer.
A longer and longer wait for the families a part of the overburdened and underfunded system. In Waterbury, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.